Hello guys, and welcome back finally to production notes from season 4 episode 29. We have taken a little bit of a hiatus. I've just been super busy, haven't been able to record or edit any of these episodes, but we are back and I am excited to talk about all of this with you guys. So if you guys are excited as well, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so unbelievably well, and let's get back into the video, shall we? So, I'm going to preface this entire video by saying episode 29 of season 4 was a long time ago for me. I would say August, maybe early September. Okay, it's now near the end of October. I've forgotten what was in the episode and what wasn't in the episode. So basically, I've just highlighted what I don't think was in the episode, but if there was something that was, then just bear with me. But here's the first one. All the mums chat about how disappointed they are to see Chloe hurt. Christy is especially upset and hopes that this does not rule Chloe out of yet another nationals. Although Chloe is now injured, Christy is still pissed that Cameron and Jodie waltz in here and her position in all of the group numbers for the recital. Christy reams Jodie for taking the numbers from Chloe with absolutely no remorse. Jodie stands her ground. Her and Cameron were given an opportunity. Abby invited them here this week. What was she supposed to do? Say no? Maybe if Christy signed the damn ALDC contract, then Chloe could dance. It's Christy who is holding Chloe back, not Jodie. So the reason I found this interesting is because of the little mention of the ALDC contract at the end. Is this insinuating that the reason why Chloe wasn't dancing wasn't just because of the boot, but it was also because of the fact that she wasn't part of the ALDC at that point and therefore wouldn't have been dancing in the group numbers? I don't know. I really do wonder whether there was more going on behind the scenes with the whole ALDC contract, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much purely because she's gone in a couple of episodes, so the ALDC contract don't make a difference anymore, but it was just a very interesting moment to note nonetheless. Christy is something, and I'm glad that she got her little bit of redemption in season 5 by standing up to Jojo and Jesselyn, but in season 4 she's still very much a very catty person, and well, yeah, it is what it is. Holly is sick of the new people coming into the studio and expecting the same rights as their girls who have paved the way. Christy jumps in and claims that people come here for the world-renowned teaching, not the exposure that the elite team has created in the dance world. All the mums pounce on Christy. That's bullshit. If it weren't for their girls, no one would even know Abby's name. I mean, listen, I firmly do believe that nobody who comes to the ALDC afterwards, after the whole Dance Mums has started, is actually here for the teaching. I think if you watch the TV show, you'll go, oh, actually, the teaching's not that good. I think they want to be on a TV show, let's be honest. I mean, come on, guys. Who wouldn't want to be on a TV show? Well, there are some people that definitely wouldn't, but I would want to be on a TV show. Would I want to sacrifice my child at the same time? I'm not sure. Crazy Christy dilutes the conversation by again accusing the mums of feeling threatened by Sarah. The mums throw it right back in her face. Wasn't Abby's reasoning for bringing in the minis this week to replace Sarah? Christy hits below the belt when she refers to Chloe's injury as convenient. Christy loses it. How dare you call my daughter a liar? So there's a couple of references here to different storylines going on. We have obviously Christy saying, oh, the broken foot's a little bit convenient, isn't it? And, well, yeah, but equally, it could strike at any time, that kind of injury, do you know what I mean? And yes, I know people have commented about the fact that Christy kicked off when she was saying the same about Mackenzie, but I think Mackenzie's thing was a lot different. There was an extra bone in her foot that didn't seem to be picked up by doctors and things like that, so it looked like it wasn't really a thing when it actually was, whereas Chloe's got a boot on and she's got like a doctor's note that no, it is actually XYZ. So I feel like Christy being like, how do you call my daughter a liar, is kind of just part and parcel in the fact that we have proof that there is actually something wrong. We're not just saying something is wrong without actually having looked it up yet. The second thing I want to talk about is the mention of the minis. Now, this is a storyline that seemingly has been cut from the episode where I think Abby and Gianna were auditioning the minis for a space on the elite team. I don't really know what the storyline ensues, but we will talk about it a little bit later. Again, I do not remember whether this moment was in the episode, but I wanted to highlight it anyway just because of how proud I am of Chloe. The fact that she was standing up to Christy just proves that she is an incredibly emotionally intelligent little kid. And you know what? Props to her. Chloe can hear what Christy is saying and decides to come up and confront her. When she enters the viewing room, Christy reveals exactly what Christy said. Christy tries to save face, but Chloe isn't buying it. Contrary to what you might think, I did hurt my foot. It's not fake, and it hurts me to hear you accuse me of that. Christy apologizes on Christy's behalf and sends her back down to the studio. The fact that she is mature enough to be like, hey, I'm upset that you've said this. I don't appreciate you saying this, and that's not okay. The fact that she has that maturity to say all of that and not get upset or angry or any other kind of extreme emotion just proves how amazing Chloe is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that I wouldn't have expected necessarily. But then again, I think she's a very sort of intelligent, well, emotionally intelligent girl, like I said earlier. And yeah, she handled that with a lot of grace and decorum, because I don't know whether I would have been that nice if someone was talking about me that way. So, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to jump straight in to talking about the mini rehearsal that happened in this episode and was seemingly cut because, I don't know, they seem to be cutting a lot of Christy content. I don't know why. Is there a reason that they've been cutting so much? Because she's been in pretty much every single episode and they just seem to be editing her out of it, and I'm not happy about that personally. Gianna works with the minis on their group number as their mothers stand by and watch. Immediately, Christy and Marsha get into it. Neither woman can stand the other. Christy accuses Marsha of being a catty gossiper who is always looking to be accepted. When Marsha calls Sarah a bully, Christy loses it and storms out of the studio. The mini mums all dish on Christy once she leaves. She thinks Sarah is so much better than their girls, and they wish Abby would really put them all to the test. So I'm guessing there was a plan to do this storyline at some point, to have all the minis compete at some point, but I don't think it happened. Unless I've missed something or they're going to do it next season, I don't think this happens at all. But it seems like the producers were kind of just laying the seeds for a storyline that they might want to go with in the future. Marsha sounds like a nasty bit of work. Why are you calling Sarah a bully? As far as I'm aware, Sarah is not a bully. That's not a very nice thing to say to a child if it is not true. So, yeah, I feel like this was a very, very interesting conversation. Obviously, Chrissy's gonna call somebody names and be a bit catty herself. But equally, that's what makes her so goddamn entertaining. Do you know what I mean? Now, I have spoken extensively about Melissa and her differing opinions on her children. And I don't mean that she doesn't love them, but I mean that she definitely puts more weight into one than the other. Jill addresses the fact that Abby is always saying that Mackenzie is in Maddie's shadow and is curious to find out what Melissa thinks. Melissa claims that Mackenzie is Maddie's biggest fan and vice versa. Christy calls Melissa out. She remembers how much attitude Maddie gave during Mackenzie's start on the music scene. She couldn't stand to see the spotlight off of her and on her little sister. Maddie didn't bounce back from it until the Sia video came out and she was the star again. I mean, right, listen, here's my opinion on this. Do I think this happened? Yeah, probably. Because I know that if my brother had gotten a music video and I didn't, I would have been like, where's my music video? Where is my music video? Why is he got a music video and I don't have a music video? I would be fuming as well. So honestly, I don't blame Maddie for that. They're kids at the end of the day. They're going to be jealous of what the other sibling has. That is literally just a natural sibling thing. It is. But Melissa trying to make out like that is not the case and that, oh, they're each other's biggest fans. I don't think that is true. Do they support each other? Absolutely. But do they secretly want to see each other fail because they want to succeed? Absolutely. Melissa thinks this is an absolutely ridiculous accusation, and when the other mums agree with Christy, she backs down. Jill adds in that yesterday, when Cameron was chosen as the lead and the robber to steal the diamond in the group number, Maddie looked both shocked and mad. Melissa squashes the conversation by saying that maybe it's good for Cameron, Abby's select team favourite, to be here to show Maddie that she isn't always the centre of attention. So now we're changing our tune. Now we're changing our tune. Now we're agreeing with them, now that we know that all the mums are on the same side and we can't win this battle. Melissa, what's going on here? Is she the centre of attention? Does she think she is? Or does she not think she is? Is she humble? Which one is it? Come on, she can't be both humble and also pissed off that she's not the centre of attention. She can't be both. The topic of the Maddie-Mackenzie rivalry brings the mums to their next question. What is the concept for Maxie's most recent music video? Melissa has to reluctantly reveal that it's about Mackenzie being in Maddie's shadow. There is a happy ending, however. At the end, Mackenzie prevails and comes into her own. Yeah, but how long does she have to spend in Maddie's shadow before she finally comes out on her own? Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's such a bad music video. The fact that she's just standing in the wings whilst Maddie's dancing on stage, she's like, I'm really sad that I'm in the shadows and I really want to be famous too. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, actually, what are we doing here? That's a crazy thing to give to a girl who is already quite insecure about her place because her sister is so much better than her. Do you know what I mean? I would not be giving that girl that song because that is going to give her some crazy insecurities. Right. Let this be a lesson to all of you. If you're going to give an excuse for your behaviour or for other people's behaviour, make sure that it's a good one, please. Please make sure it's a good one. Jodie wants the mums to know that she thought long and hard about their conversation yesterday. She understands that some people are advocates and she applauds that, but she is just not one of those people. It's not Jodie's personality to speak up. She is quiet and reserved, and that's how she has always been. Holly thinks this is a sorry excuse. You don't have to be loud to have a voice and stand up for what's right. Rosa Parks wasn't loud on that bus. She sat quietly and she was heard. First of all, Holly getting any opportunity to bring up Rosa Parks is kind of funny to me. Purely because I know the only reason why she's doing it is because it will be like a callback to Rosa Parks when Nia was playing it. I feel like there were better examples that she could have used, but equally, I understand why she went directly for that. Equally, Jodie, I'm quiet. Oh, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to rock the boat. Bitch, you're on a TV show. You're on a TV show where everybody rocks the boat. You have to rock the boat. If you want to stay on the show and you want your daughter to be part of this team, you've got to rock the boat. The best thing you could possibly do is stand up for your daughter. I'm sorry, but it is. Why do you think they kept on bringing back Jeanette? Because she stood up for her daughter and they were like, okay, well, you can't be on the main team, but we're going to keep bringing you back because you're fantastic television. Who didn't come back? You, Jodie. It was you. I bet you're all wondering, what does this group dance, which was the We're Gonna Steal a Diamond from somewhere, I don't really know, somewhere with very bad security, what has that got to do with anything? Why are we doing it? Well, Abby explains herself in the production notes, actually quite well to be fair. Abby ties in this week's group dance to a story about her mother never getting the diamond ring she dreamed of. Marianne's diamond wasn't set high enough on the ring and she couldn't stand it, although she didn't have the heart to tell Abby's father. The diamond on the podium is Abby's way of rising her mother's ring and giving her what she always wanted. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this story. I mean, first of all, I don't understand diamond setting. So, what do you mean it wasn't set high enough? Are we talking high as in like up? Like that way? Or are we talking up that way? What are we talking about here? I'm a little bit confused. I don't do rings. I don't understand them. So somebody in the comment section, let me know what that means. I could do some research, but I'm lazy and I like you to do it for me. But anyway, I also think the fact that she was like, she never had the heart to tell her father. I feel like that would be an easy fix, no? Is like setting a diamond a little bit higher, not something you can just take it to a jeweler's for? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure her father would have been like, yeah, sure. Let's like pay for it. Maybe? I don't know. I mean, listen, I never met her dad. I barely met her mum, do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know why I care that much. But it was just nice that it gave a little bit of context to the group number. Even though I don't think Marianne was wanting to steal diamonds, but you know what, whatever. So the 45-second solos were everybody's chance to audition for a national solo, right? Chloe didn't get that opportunity, but that didn't stop Christy campaigning for her to have one. Abby instructs Maddie to help the girls backstage and Chloe to sit in the audience to watch. It's too much of a liability to have Chloe backstage. The last thing she wants is for her to further injure her foot. Christy petitions for Chloe to get her 45-second solo opportunity once she is cleared by the doctor. She doesn't think Abby or anyone should count Chloe out yet. Chloe agrees. If she is cleared by the doctor, she really wants to dance at nationals. She missed last year and she isn't ready to miss another year. Abby understands but stresses that missing another nationals is a lot less important than potentially ruining her foot forever. Chloe is an original member of the elite competition team, so she knows better than anyone how important a nationals win is to Abby. She wants all her dancers she put on stage to be at their peak, and with an injury, Chloe is not. Now, do we remember? Let's cast our minds back, okay? Boop, 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 boop. To season 2. Relight My Fire, okay? Relight My Fire. It wasn't called that. It was called Light My Fire. But I distinctly remember seeing Paige dancing with a boot on, right? So you had no care for her then. But suddenly when it's Chloe and Nationals is coming up next week and she's like, oh, please let me dance. No, we couldn't possibly let you dance. Oh no, suddenly I care about your foot. Suddenly I care about it. Suddenly I care. That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit of a double standard. The fact that we were letting Paige dance, but we're not letting Chloe dance, just in general. Like, potentially for nationals, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, when I get my clean bill of health, Abby's like, well, we don't know. We don't know whether you're going to get that or not. And I still don't want to do further damage to it. So, like, a little bit tough. I think Abby's just making excuses because she doesn't want Chloe to dance. But that's just me. That's just me, guys. That's just a me thing. So, if you're from the UK, you'll know that there is a very, very famous show called Match of the Day. It's post-breakdown analyses of football, and this is exactly what Gianna and Abby were doing after the dances. They did their post-dance analysis. Yeah, it was a bad joke. It was a bad joke. Oh god, guys. Yeah, I shouldn't talk about football because I know literally nothing about it. That's a lie. I actually do know a decent amount, but not masses. Anyway, moving on. After the solos, Abby and Gianna discussed their thoughts on each performance. Abby thought the decision would be black and white, but it's proving to be a lot more difficult than she thought. The only performance that was truly disappointing was Kenzie's. She was so upset by it that she rips up her paper with the critique she wrote. Christy keeps saying not to count Chloe out, but how are they supposed to consider her when she didn't dance? Not to mention, she just got beat by Kendall. First of all, do we not remember Cameron like mucking up in her dance? Like, I distinctly remember Cameron doing something wrong in her dance, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's me and my poor memory. I don't know. Mackenzie did muck up, to be fair. To be fair to her, I'm sorry, bestie, you did muck up. And yeah, fair. But to rip up the critiques, I feel like that's a little bit disappointing. Come on. At least give us some constructive criticism. You don't have to be like, you shit on a bit of paper, but equally, you could just give us something that will help her out. So once again, I feel like the show was trying to build up a mini storyline for the minis, and they just cut the entirety of it, because there were actually some very, very interesting moments that happened, especially when they realised there might be an opening on the team. Outside of the venue, the mini mums, Sherry, Marsha and Holly, chat about the first half of the show. Christy joins the mini mums and informs them that Christy hasn't been at the concert at all today. She also reveals that her and Abby got in another blowout fight at the studio that ended in Abby kicking her and Sarah out. Christy thinks that this is the perfect opportunity for one of them and their girls to step in. Do you really want more new mums on the team? Come on, bestie. I mean, to be fair, if you're going to get new mums, it might as well be the mums that are already part of the ALDC, do you know what I mean? We're not going to be shopping outside, okay? We're not going to be going into Lidl and bringing in Tesco produce, do you know what I mean? It's not okay, it's not the done thing. but equally Abby likes to take the piss. So this was actually really, really interesting, and I like the fact that they're trying to build something up with the minis, but it just goes nowhere, because in season 5 we're off to LA, and then it's like, oh well, this whole storyline is going to be dead in the water. Just when you think she's gone for good, Christy comes back, and genuinely, guys, I get goosebumps every time I see her name pop up on my screen. I'm like, yes, I know it's going to be juicy. Christy shows up, and Christy admits that she is surprised that Sarah didn't dance a 45-second solo. Christy claims that Sarah doesn't need to prove herself to Abby. Abby is well aware of how talented she is. This comment sparks a fight over whose daughter is most talented between Christy and the Minimums. Christy allows the fight to ensue as she slowly backs away from the drama and heads back to the dressing room. I mean, Christy, that is evil. You can't start an argument and then slink off into the shadows and leave them to just argue with each other. That's not okay, but it is highly entertaining, so thank you very much for that. And as for Christy, I do think that Sarah is talented, and I think she is good, but I do think that Christy has an overinflated ego about it, and that rubs people up the wrong way and makes them sort of lash out at Sarah, saying that she isn't actually that good. I think she is good, don't get me wrong, but I think Christy likes to make out she's a lot better than she actually is. I mean, Christy, how dare we? I mean, have you not heard the phrase snitches get stitches? Because I think you're about to get a couple of stitches here, mate. Christy reveals that from the audience during Sarah's duet, she saw Christy in the wings. Abby's biggest no-no. Abby didn't see that from the sound booth, but she is horrified by the information. Just then, Christy and the other mini-mums enter. Abby reprimands Christy for her cameo in the wings. Abby turns her attention to Sherry, Anastasia's mum. Abby saw her daughter wave at the audience at the end of one of her routines, and she is furious. Aside from that, their girls were all beautiful. She has a lot to think about in terms of nationals, but she will be in touch. I mean, is there nothing cuter than a little kid on stage doing this at the end of their number? That's so sweet, and genuinely I reckon the audience would have loved that. Is it professional? No. Are they a child? Yes. I feel like we need to remember they are children, Abby. They are children. So please, shush your mouth. And finally, we have the notes from the memorial dinner that prove that Holly actually was in the building. So, you know what, guys? I take it back. Maybe it wasn't just Melissa and Jodie. The banquet hall is beautifully decorated and filled with friends and family in memory of Mrs. Miller. Abby takes centre stage to welcome everyone and thanks them for coming. Abby pulls out a piece of paper and tries to compose herself before she begins to speak, which proves to be almost impossible. Abby sobs through most of her speech as she remembers her mother. The heartfelt speech leaves everyone in the banquet hall teary-eyed. Abby invites Holly up to say grace before everyone eats and gives some final words honouring Mrs. Miller. Holly takes the floor and delivers a moving evocation for Mrs. Miller that touches everyone, especially Abby. I mean, considering all the issues that Holly and Abby are going to have in season 5, I think this is a really, really beautiful moment, and I'm glad that Holly sort of put her differences aside to be like, yo, we're going to remember your mum, differences aside, I'm going to do this for you and make this a special moment, and I really do appreciate that. But that is all we've got time for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Little bit of a shorter one for you guys, unfortunately. There wasn't actually that much juicy content, but we are coming up on the finale episodes, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to do at least one a week, so please bear with me on that. I am trying to get these out as fast as possible, but there is so much going on at the moment. Celebrity Traitors and Big Brother. Oh god, they're eating up all my time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now. See ya.